This week on the appraisals, we're going to talk about Paisley shawls and shawls in general. Paisley's started like around 200 to 680. And originally the name is bote. Bote means a little shrub, reminiscent of a shaped tear, and that's what the Paisley name comes from. So the reason we call Paisleys nowadays because that's closest to our history. They made these in Scotland in a town called Paisley, copying the original shawls that they were coming from Persia or India. So we have three different ones here. The newest one I have on the table is from 1850s. Then the second one is like around 1780s. The oldest one is like around 1750s. All right, so today we start with the original shawl. These shawls were made for Maharajas and the Mughal emperors. They were made out of Pashmina. Pashmina is the hair that they collect off the mountains from a mountain goat. This little goat walks through the shrubs and little piece of hair left behind. People go collect them. You can imagine how long it's gonna take to collect enough hair to make a shawl like this. So this particular one was woven like around 1750s. If you look at back of it, it is done with most amazing craftsmanship. It takes probably a good 40 years to make one shawl like this. So these were for aristocracy and very barely anybody could afford them. Then they moved to making shawls out of appliques. So they had a felt as a base and then the needle worked over it. These were somewhat easier to make, although it would have still taken a year to make a big shawl like this. This is a moon shawl. It is very delicate, however, much easier than making this. And after that, they become mechanical. So they were made these in France. It looks very similar to the original shawl, has the same design, but if you look at the back of it, the design goes in a linear motion. So that is where the machine comes along and makes everything in a line. Rather than if you look at the back of the original ones, they go everywhere, back, left, up, down, because the needlework is a different way. Also, the copies are quite light, so they are not much of a weight to them. The original ones, they are very pliable, but they are kind of heavy. So the big question is how much they're worth. So we start with the newest one, although it's an antique, 1850s again. This sells for nowadays like around $500 to $600, and we see them all over the antique stores and so on. The applique on a felt will sell for like about $7,000 to $8,000. And the original shawls, as when were intended, nowadays still for aristocracy, and a good one brings between $50,000 to $100,000, and they're well worth having it because they are tremendous works of art that never gonna be repeated. Again, I hope you enjoyed the appraisals today. Looking forward to see you next week on Design Santa Barbara.